The views shared here are personal and don't reflect the sponsors or advertisers. This is for entertainment only, not meant to offend or harm. If you're easily offended, this isn't for you. Listen with an open mind. Now, let's get into it.
What's up, everybody? I hope you are doing good. We are back, and I'm so happy to be back again. It's been a hot minute, Nyana, but we are here. I missed you so much. And I promised that this episode, I want to read like 1 or 2 comments just to appreciate the feedback, because you guys have been giving such amazing feedback, by the way. Like, it's so humbling. It's been so amazing. And if you're new to the channel, hi. My name is Kedi Molosiwa. I also go by Kedi, aka Lezozo, aka Lezozo. I'm based in Gabs, Botswana, and I just like to have conversations that are meaningful. We talk about life and we talk about reality and experience and facing, I guess, whatever comes our way. So that's just the whole purpose of all of this. And it's called Life Unscripted, by the way. So this is like a space for us to just unpack, and just be real with each other. I think that's just what I want to say. It's not that deep, gents. Like, oh, and also we have international audience now. And you guys have been telling me that we're speaking too much Setswana, so we have to translate or give subtitles. So I will try and speak as much English as possible, because I don't want you to feel like I'm not including you in this, because I need you and you need me, So please subscribe also. Let's grow the family. We're at 1.27. It's like a big number, and I really like that. Thank you so much for subscribing. So please keep subscribing to the content, and we'll keep getting better. We'll keep giving you more. So we had the last episode. Well, I'm going to go back to episode 3 where I was with Brandon, and you guys said he's so bubbly. I really don't know what to say. I thought I was doing something little, but to you it was something big. This is the friend Waha Brandon who commented. Thank you so much, Tlotlo. The other episode that we had with Pakolekoko, which is about life abroad, oh my gosh, it has the highest numbers, and I'm so happy. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you. The comments are saying, let's on it, especially the ones who are based abroad, like people who are living in the diaspora, ele Botswana. You guys really related to that, and I'm very glad that you were able to find something common in what she was experiencing, and just being able to say, oh, damn, I'm not the only one, because you'll never be the only one. That's why you have me. You'll never be the only one. We're going to go through this shit together, okay? Sharp. So my guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is a lady that I've known from University of Botswana when I was still schooling there. Well, we were still schooling there, actually. She's such an amazing woman. She's such a hard worker. She's an entrepreneur. She's also moved to relocate in SA now. We're also going to talk about how that was for her, because that's a big girl move to make, when you're coming from Botswana, and you know how life is very comfortable when you're home. So she was able to do something that was very uncomfortable and face that. And she had also experienced things before that as well, which we're going to be talking about. So today we have Tlotlo Anita Ghanie, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
What an introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's nice to hear how you describe me, and I'm very honored to be here.
Yeah.
And I want to say a big part of me wanting to be here is I see the same qualities in you.
Yeah.
I've seen you change over the years and follow your heart. I have a very big respect for people who do that. So
Same.
I'm so happy to be here.
Because we know it takes a lot of courage to do that thing, to defy whatever's been set by our parents, society, the status quo.
And go after what you want.
You need to be this age and have this and do that.
100%.
But being able to just follow your actual heart, that's a big thing to do. And it's not the easiest. So
not at all.
I appreciate you for also being here.
Thank you, Kedi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
So where do we even begin?
I don't know, girl. I mean, you called me. So.
I think let's start from one young mama.
Yeah.
Because we know Anita Ghanie
there's a
as
history there.
one young mama.
Yeah.
Especially people who follow you from Instagram
Botswana,
from like a long time ago, because you had that brand that you built. You were a young wife, you were a young mom, you were embracing that, you loved it, you wanted to share it with the world.
Yeah.
And then a divorce happened, and then you didn't talk about it. You just went
Yeah.
quiet, and then we were just like, and then we saw the changing from
Yeah.
one young mama handle
Yeah.
to Tlotlo
To
Anita
Tlotlo,
Ghanie. And then
yeah.
you're like, people don't even know your real name at that point.
They're
So
like,
then you
"Who's
have to
this?"
reintroduce yourself like, oh, I'm not Tlotlo, guys. I'm actually Tlotlo.
I actually
you
have a
know?
name.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah.
So let's start from one young mama. Like,
Yeah.
who was she? Who is she? How do you see your similarities with her now?
Well, I mean, a lot of people actually still call me by that name. Like, I could just be walking somewhere. Surprisingly, even in South Africa, I
Yeah.
get people like, oh, Aiden's mom, one young mama. I'm like, oh my God, I really had reached, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that person was she's still the same person that's here today. Maybe just a little bit less educated about herself, about what she would want, but still the same heart, still a love of family, same principles. I keep saying guys, I'm so sorry if that's like irritating. I'm gonna try and be better.
Apologizing, Lord.
Because I hate listening to people saying and I keep saying every 5 seconds. I'm so sorry. Let me be better. But oh no.
Okay, while she thinks about her words, shout out to Organic Handmade, guys, because we are in a different location, as you can probably see. It's not the same location with the clothes in the back, but I am still working with Glotto. I mean, I'm always gonna be in a Glotto shirt. So shout out to Glotto and the Synergy store for also just being a part of our family. But today we're in Organic Handmade, and they are a Botswana organic skincare company or business, and they have amazing products for your skin. I come here to do like my facials and stuff, and I'm not even a facial person because my skin is generally like good skin, but I want to maintain that because I'm getting older now, and I don't want to have to feel like I should have done that years ago. So I want to tap in now. So I'm using like the aloe vera, I'm using the turmeric soap, I'm using the face masks, and I'm also coming for facial treatments here just to keep my skin hydrated. I have dry skin, so it's keeping my skin hydrated. They have vitamin C serum, which is doing wonders for my skin. So Organic Handmade, based in Village, Gaborone, right behind News Cafe. You're gonna see all the signs to get here. So please come through, come get your skincare stuff, and come get your treatments, because they have waxing also available. They have like do massage. Yeah, there's like I'm reading the service price list at the back there. They've got like foot massages, back massages, the whole shebang, honestly. So just come through to Organic Handmade and follow them as well on social media. Organic Handmade BW or Organic Handmade Spa. That's like where you can get all of the services that they actually have to offer you. So yeah, we're going back now to our conversation.
Back to me. The
girl.
Okay.
Somebody's watching like, oh man, she's back. Girl is back again. But she
I hope
looks
you're
so
excited
beautiful.
for it.
You look so beautiful, Tama,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
You too. As you're talking about your skin, I'm like, yes, I wish I could see it in person.
Hey, but again, we're recovering from flu. It's like July,
Yes,
it's
that
June,
season.
so it's
That
flu season.
season.
So please, shout out to anybody who's fighting a flu dog. Just keep fighting. We'll be
Be a
okay.
soldier. Yeah.
So you talked about like,
Okay.
you were telling me about
So I was
when
sharing
your
a lot
mama-
of my life. I think when I got married really young. Anyone who was part of that community, I think, knows that. I got married at the age of 20. And
God.
I think,
is that?
you know, for a lot of like, what the fuck is that?
Like this crazy business.
But for a lot of like young people, you know, you grow up with that thing of, oh, I want to be married by this age. I want to have this. I want to, you know, and I feel like I've always been a go-getter, you know? And when the opportunity came, I said, listen, I told y'all I'm going to be married by 21. And I'm going to have kids. I'm going to have my story together. I'm going to have these businesses. I'm going to do this, So when I found the opportunity, it was very exciting for me, which is why I wanted to share it so much with the world, having that kind of responsibility. I think I always wanted to have my own family. So when I got my husband and my kid, I was like, everyone has to know about it. This is the part of my life that I really was looking forward to. But I think a big part about social media is that sometimes you can feel a little, you have to kind of like disguise a lot of things, even if there's like a lot of things happening in the background, which I get. There has to be a balance to that because we all know that not all relationships are perfect. And sometimes it will be too soon for you to be like, oh, this is not good, But when it's just an argument that can be resolved or something that can be fixed, So you do have to put up a bit of I don't want to call it a front, but you have to represent your family in the best way possible.
In a good light.
Yes,
also.
until you are knowing, like it's defined that this won't work. Then that's when you can then say, because I hear a lot of people who are like, oh, don't look at relationships online and you want to be like them. You don't know what's happening in the back. Yes, for every relationship, actually, you don't know what's happening at the back.
Yep.
So let's not look into people's relationships. That's very correct. But it doesn't mean that relationships that experience challenges are also not happy relationships.
True. I like that.
So for me, I think I was really holding on to a thought that things could be fixed, which made it difficult for me to come out and be like, oh, I think I made a mistake, guys, because you kind of feel like you can fix things.
Yeah.
Especially as a woman. I think women have this thing of like fixing.
We're fighters on our fixes. That's why we fall for potential more than what you're actually seeing. Because in your eyes, you're like, no, you can be this
we
guy.
can do this.
But, I'm going to make sure I'm going to build you. And also, that's what our mamas and our grandmothers be
it's
teaching.
It's a generational gift.
No.
I want to say curse, but...
yeah, I get you though. They'll
Yeah.
tell you must like surah a man, like
And
wash him and like he won't be perfect. But how come you worked on yourself as a woman? How come you were able to be like, and nobody's perfect, yes. Yeah,
But also men will also... Well, I don't want to turn this into a man versus woman thing. But more likely, people are going to choose what is almost ready or the best thing for them. I've never met like a male saying, oh, I met this girl and I feel like she has so much potential to become this. I'm gonna put her in the gym. I'm gonna help her work out, and I'm gonna take her to school so she gets smarter. No, like they really just want a woman who is made. And I feel the same should apply for women now.
Yes, but it's okay for us to want a...
Yeah.
So he wasn't made?
I mean, I thought he was. And I think that's a very big lesson that I had to learn, that I think if I'm going to be honest, like I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm very okay with calling myself out, I think at that age I wasn't ready to get married. Like if I'm keeping it real with myself, I wasn't ready to be married because I still didn't know what kind of person I was looking for.
Damn.
Yeah. My choices were just based off of like the fairy tale, that thing of, oh, I want to be married, whatever. So if someone's going to come and just also identify,
you're going to take it.
You're going to take it.
Of course, you're 20. You're going to take it.
Right?
Yeah.
But you're not really thinking about where's my life heading? What do I want for myself in the next 5 years? Yes, you could be thinking about that, but realistically, how this person adds to it, you haven't even learnt about red flags or anything like that. So I'll give you an example. I think when him and I got married, and these are the things, as a young girl, you're not very privy to the fact that people could manipulate you. You're not even, it's only when you're older when you realize that, oh, you know what, you can be with this person, and when they go home, they're going to think of something different. Like whatever they're showing you is not who they really are. And I think just the day before we got married, because you actually go there's 2 steps to it. You go to the magistrate, you sign off for like ditoto, I think they call it ditoto. Then you go the next day to do like the actual marriage. But with us, you can picture this, we're together. Like I've now told my parents, Bona, I found the man of my dreams, because he's been doing everything correct, whatever. He waits for everything to get to like the split second, and then he's like, I don't want to get married and come into your property, you know. And at this time, I'm 20. I am pregnant. Like the ball is already rolling, you know. I'm already sacrificing, but you're coming to me saying, okay, you don't want to get married in community property. I'm being very open right now because this is a safe space, and guys, Kedi's my girl, so
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really just gonna like chill.
Yeah.
So in a situation like that, the first thought that comes to me as a 20-year-old is, okay, I've never really been the type of person to want to be with anyone for anything. So initially in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe he feels like I am interested in assets, right?
And his money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's okay. In my mind, my first thing is that's okay. Then let me keep my last name and let me like just work for myself. That's fine with me. And
So you didn't change your last name?
no, but he then said no. He was like, no, you have to change your last name or else I'm calling this whole thing off. What? Right? Which is so manipulative. Like now when I'm old, I'm just like, I should have said bed.
Yeah.
I should have said, let's call it off.
Let's call it off,
like
actually.
let's just leave it alone. But I think, like I'm saying, I was young and uneducated. That's why I'm able to call myself out and say, you know what? I really wish I knew better, because even in a moment like that, that was really the first moment where I realized that something could be off, you know. And I then just told myself, you know what? Maybe he just needs time to see my intentions, to see that.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Disclaimer, this person is very old.
Much older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd expect that he would be more responsible with my life. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much responsibility on him. But I just generally feel like
he knows that you are a 20-year-old.
And my life is just starting out.
And it's changing already. You are expecting a baby now. Like, Luana, you are just like not understanding what's happening with your body.
And I want to do this for like with us. I think, you know, this whole thing of love and, you know, I really think we need to stop the fairy tales for the young girls.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta be real. For a little bit,
because it's kind of misleading. Like you'll meet somebody who appeals to your heart, like, and it's not even because now that I'm older, I'm able to realize that it was also easy for him to see how much I wanted a family. Like just by talking to him, I'm older now, and when I talk to anyone younger, I can quickly identify what you want in life, like, and what pulls your heartstrings, you know. So I'm pretty sure, like, from our conversations, it was easy for him to be like, oh, this girl really wants to be married and have a family. So I'm gonna operate in a way that's gonna make her feel like I want to give that to her. Yeah, but and my thing is, I'm not on here to be like, oh, women must be married in community property, like, oh, don't do it if not, because like I said, I've never been interested in that part.
Yeah.
You know, it was always about let's be loving on each other, let's build a family.
You know?
So I said, okay, cool, let me work for myself. You know, and I think me going into the story really is just me trying to, I think, give closure to what really was the biggest breaking down point of the whole thing. And yeah, so I then decided with like in my mind, I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm still young. I can still work and I can still like create a life for myself. And he's still here and whatever. I don't really need to have that, you know, that was in my mind because I can fix it, right? And as time went by, it became a challenge. I then realized that he wasn't really supportive of me working. And I don't know, people who follow me know I do hair. If you don't know,
like we all know that you are killing it.
Thank you. I do hair. I am the lead hairstylist. Let me advertise my business for a second.
Yes.
I'm the lead hairstylist at AB Beauty Official. You can find me on Instagram. I've been doing hair for 10 years now.
Yep.
10 years. But yeah, the beginning of that 10 years started within that marriage. And it was so difficult for me. I look now at people who started same time as me, who are like way ahead.
You feel like they're far ahead.
Yeah, like way ahead. They've had so much ground to cover. And I couldn't play in that field because I didn't have a supportive partner. For me, it was more like, and I want young girls I'm open to speaking about this because I really want young girls to hear me and know from like what I went through so that they're able to make different choices.
Yep.
I'll give you a random example. Like, there was a time I was interested in makeup. And at the time, 10 years back, like makeup was still starting out. And I remember saying to him, oh, I really like this MAC counter. You know, they had the MAC counters by Edgar's. I think they still do that.
They still do, yeah.
But at first it used to be like in the middle of the mall. I don't think it was in Edgar's first. I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure.
But yeah, and I was just like, I would really love to work here because they would like have programs where they take people and you train and stuff. I'd really like to learn more. You know, and he was like, there's no way you're going to do this. Like, it's below you, you know? Which is it's a dangerous thing about being with someone who's older than you. Because they now think you've lived their life. Like, just because
they want to make your decision
about your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
At 20...
why don't you hear me and maybe try see where you can lead me to the same vision that I'm
trying to go to. 100%.
Like, suggest better or okay, if not Mac, then where?
Hey, then
okay,
how should I
let's
do
go to
it?
Joburg, rather.
Yes.
Let's like make it bigger for her
You
so that
know?
she can actually see the vision or it can be
But
bigger.
not just know.
Not just know.
Yeah.
So he's just shutting it down. Like, he's shutting the
dreams down.
Shutting your desire.
Yes. And even when it came to hair, it was always that situation like, oh, I think he was successful in his career.
Yeah.
So he would always say things like, you know, he would never pictured himself being with a hairdresser after all these years of him working, you know. And imagine someone minimizing your craft. And it's like also first of all.
Yes.
But also you just don't have any vision. There's also a dangerous thing about being generationally apart. Because when you talk to someone, you're like, oh, I can advertise on Instagram. I can do this. Like, to them, they're just like, no. All I know is that we go to study and we apply for jobs.
And we work.
Yeah.
In the office. Like,
in the office. That's a real job.
Yeah.
Anything else is not a real job. Yeah. So we were always having that kind of thing, you know, until it became clear to me that I would never get out of it. And I'd find myself in this loop that if I carry on this way, I'm going to end up being too dependent on this person. Because number one, I do not have any right or ownership to anything that he has. Number two, I'm heavily discouraged and not supported to have anything of mine, you know. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen to me? You know, I would have like nightmares, like sometimes, like real talk. Wake up dead in the middle of the night. Like, if this man was to die, God forbid.
Hey, my sister.
I would not know what to do.
Ma'am.
I was like...
And it's not in community, my dear. You are on your
I'm
own.
on my own. I would not know what to do. Even just picturing spending 10 years with him and like something happens and now I have to learn how to make money. I haven't been introduced to that. Like,
ever.
Yeah, the baby girl life sounds good. Yes, when someone is giving you an allowance, like everything is nice. You don't have to think about things. But real life doesn't work like that. And I think I've always been aware of that.
Yeah.
And I also feel like my parents have never let me forget that. Like, in as much as they're also very supportive and like happy for me and what I would get constant reminders that, you know what, you actually went to school, you know, like you have
and you're smart as fuck,
babe, like I studied finance.
This Han is so smart, like it's not even a joke. She is so smart.
Imagine, and that all goes
you did
to
finance,
waste.
dude. Kubasko, like what,
bro?
That's a hard course, like, first of all. But you were doing that thing, and you were showing up to school.
Yeah, but then you know you find yourself in that place. Or I found myself in that place, and it was unfortunate. I feel like had it not been for that, things could have been different. But I had to choose myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to choose myself, and I had to really think about what the long term looks like. Because it's not just about right now. Like, you can live your life with someone. Like I'm saying, so many things can happen apart from him just leaving you, or finding another woman. He could die.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing he can do.
He could become disabled now. He could be in a car accident and then.
And all you know how to do is
And
spend
he's
money as a
wheelchair
woman.
bound, yeah, and
Because
then you
that's
have to
what.
Tokomela him too.
My God.
And you're just a girl.
And I'm just a girl. I'm just like, where's my allowance?
And because men is just here like, and you're just like,
Because I'm used to this.
Yes.
Don't stop the life. Come on.
But life happens.
Life happens.
Because life happens to everybody, even the richest of the richest. So I also want to talk about dropping out of school.
Yeah.
What happened?
It was really just for the family. I think, you know what? I made so many sacrifices for the fact that I wanted to have this family, and I had this vision of,
Your partner was okay with you
what?
not continuing with school?
Like I'm saying, there were so many red flags. There were so many red flags. Like, I think I've spent the past few years really just trying to create an image of saying, or not trying to make him look bad. But the older that I get,
Yeah, like you don't have to protect her.
yeah, the older I get, the more and more honest I'm being with myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not a good person.
No.
Like, you're not.
Yeah.
You are not a good person.
Yeah.
Because who does that?
Yeah, when you deep it.
Who does that?
You went back to school though.
Yeah, I went back to school immediately after we separated. That was my first thing. I said, I have to go back to school.
And finish.
I have to learn how to do life. Yeah, and just do life by myself.
And then you finished.
And I
got your
finished. I
finance degree.
graduated.
Yes, and
You
I
must
was
link
so
my pictures
proud.
in here.
I was so proud, which is why for me it was deeper than like
Yeah.
a lot of people what they were seeing on the surface of congrats. I was like, she finished school. Finally. Because I'm like, my girl, you should not have to leave school.
Babe.
But you were young.
I was.
One
And
young
also
mom.
very discouraged. Like, there were things like, if I'd go to school, he'd be calling me up like, I get a house, you like skolo. Like, nigga.
Like, I'm in class. I'm having a group assignment right now. We're
I'm
fighting.
even leaking. I have milk leaking out of my boobs because I left your kid at home. I'm just trying to do something real quick and get back to
home.
it. But you just don't give me a break to breathe.
Yeah, and you're always thinking your thoughts.
Yeah.
And they're the most negative thoughts.
The most negative thoughts.
Nilimo, what year of your marriage for you to realize I don't want to be here anymore?
I think it was when my son was 1 years old, where I started to plan. Yeah, and I was like, okay, this doesn't look like it for me anymore. Yeah, because now there was like comments coming up like, oh, don't forget that I pay for all the stuff, I'd be posting on social media and he'd be like, do you think they really like you for you? They just like you for the shit that I buy you. Like, and you're just there like, but where's this attack coming from? Like, why won't attack, bro? Like, why? What did I do to you? And so I feel like that's when, in year one, that's when things started becoming, he became more verbal about like not liking the things that I do. So I didn't realize that the only way he was going to be happy was if I stayed home and just took care of the house and the child and minded my business. Because it wasn't even like he was willing to grow me like mentally. Like, I would ask questions like, because with his qualifications, the reason I loved him was because I felt like we could make a good team. Yeah, I always have like ideas that I want to try out, businesses and stuff like that. And I felt like he could contribute a lot to that.
Yes.
But he just never would. Like, I'd tell him, oh, this is my company structure. This is what I'm thinking of doing, whatever. And he'd just be like, that's not a real business.
Oh, man. Hey,
Babe. And, I would just, it was just very toxic for me. Because I would also try to work out, like, look good. And he'd just be like, wow, Jola, what do you mean? And it's just because relationships can be way more than that.
Yes.
Like, they really can be. What if I really love you? And I just want us to grow together.
Yes.
Like, what if?
Yes.
And, I would get people, like, always just telling me, oh, we never see you out, you know, you're always home. And that's because I genuinely enjoyed loving on my family.
Yeah, and being home.
But now I was paying for it. Like,
Ma'am.
now I was the one to pay for it, because the words I would get in exchange is like, you know what, you know, he would even go as far as, and I know this is the stuff that used to break my heart. Like, we would be in public and he'd want to like do public things. Like, if someone was to walk up to me and be like, oh, please take a picture of us. Oh, young mama, you know, I really love you, whatever.
Yeah.
He'd be like, I'm not a photographer.
What?
Yeah.
Guys.
She'd be like, actually,
Guys.
nah.
Like,
Like, study photography.
Even X at the back is just like, what? He's just like, what the hell is this?
You're actually my biggest op.
Exactly.
Like, what an op.
He hated you.
I think he hated me.
He hated you,
For
bro.
real.
And we shouldn't have to be with men who hate us.
hate
guys.
us.
Also, we always see that this guy hates me. Like, you are seeing that, no,
The
bro.
evidence is there.
It's right there, but you're just like, no, I love him.
I love him.
He'll
We can work through
change.
this.
Oh, no, the dick is good.
Babe.
You know, I'm here, but...
I mean, I'm not trying to advertise that, but...
Stop it. Just stop.
I mean, there was something keeping me there.
Yes.
Shit.
And that's the trap.
Yeah.
And people don't want to be real about this.
100%.
Like
100%.
when the sex is bomb, guys, all of a sudden, you don't.
You're in
know.
danger.
You don't.
You
know
are in danger.
because he
Red
knows
lights.
what's keeping you,
Red
and that's
lights.
why there's abuse in relationships.
100%.
Because they know what they're doing.
100%.
He's just hitting you, and then he's gonna do all those crazy
All
things
these
to you that you
things.
love.
Yeah.
and that's how you're gonna be like, oh, he's not such a bad guy after all.
No, he is.
A little post-nut clarity.
I mean, I feel like God was a big part of my journey because, you know, before my marriage, I wasn't a spiritual person. And it was because of my marriage that I became spiritual. And I started to pray and, you know, because I would feel trapped. I'd feel like, you know, why did I do this? Because now my life isn't really going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, all that I'm having is like, I have a child, but when it comes to my business, I'm not fully focused because today I'm up, but tomorrow, you know, I'm depressed. I don't even want to be working or anything like that because there's this person at home who's continuously discouraging every part of my life. And I started to pray, and I remember I had asked God, like, show me if this is not for me. You know, I'd be like, I'm ready, like, whatever it is, just show me if this is not for me and I will leave.
yeah.
And things just kept getting worse. They just kept getting worse and worse until
There's
I
a baby also in the picture.
yeah, and it would frustrate me because I could tell that my son was starting to see. He was getting to an age where he would start to see that I was sad. And I just asked myself, is this what I want to have for him? And, you know, sometimes I see this a lot on social media where people are like, they think when they choose their men, they're thinking about their kids. And I don't think I went through that step. Because when I look at it even now, I'm just like, who the hell did I choose?
Yes.
Like, you are like a parasite. Like, you gotta, you know, where you're just like, can't you just stop, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and one thing about a man that hates you is that he'll always go out of his way to just make your life worse.
Yeah, and miserable.
Like, I would have thought, like, okay, getting separated and stuff would be the end of it. But you'll find that the same person who now didn't want to work is going to go argue to have custody of your child because they're saying you can't afford to take care of the child. But why?
Yeah.
Why can't I afford to have their child? Like, because the whole time I was with you never had interest in teaching me how to afford anything, how to do anything. And I think that's the one thing that really, really showed me, like, that the love wasn't mutual. It hurts. Like, it hurts to sit down and be like, I think I actually loved this person more than they loved me. Yeah. Because of the things that they did. Yeah. So you then find same person will be like, oh, because of this and this and this, but you're the same person who didn't want me to work. You're the same person who didn't want me to be independent in certain ways.
So manipulative. guys.
Right?
That is so crazy.
No, guys, be afraid. I don't want to say be afraid of men because I do feel like I'm older now and I'm more equipped to sort of figure out the kind of men that would add on to my life in a positive note.
Yeah.
That me at 20 years old I was just hopeful.
Tata.
Yeah, there was so much hope. And not to say
Yeah.
I'm not hopeful now, but
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, but with education.
Yes.
I know how to spot red flags. If a guy's going to be like, oh, why are you going out with your friends? And it's the only time I've been out, like,
Like, brother, I have a social life. Before you were in my life, there were friends around me.
There were friends with me.
And speaking about friends, who was in your corner? Like,
At the time,
yeah.
I had no, like, one thing about a narcissist, right? I really think my ex is a narcissist. Yeah, because they will kind of like isolate you from friends and family. So most of the time, it was just me and him.
What about your mom?
My mom, unfortunately, she stays very far away. She's in the UK. Like my family is very spread out. And even now, like now I'm living in South Africa. I have an older brother in the Philippines. Like we're just all in the
all
diaspora.
over the place. Yeah, you guys are all over.
So we live very independent lives.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just pretty much by myself. Only until I met, there's a friend of mine. She's very well known. I don't know if she want me to say her name, but I want to say it here to say thank you.
Yeah.
But her name is Maxine. A lot of people know her.
Yes.
Yeah, she was like one of my first friends. We started like hanging out.
Post separation.
No, while I was still
while
married.
you were married.
Yeah,
oh,
and I
yes.
think it was.
So it's a genuine friendship with Maxine.
Yes.
Because we also saw that on social media.
Yes,
so it's like, I know we
100%.
don't know if people are being friends,
No, that's my
or like
sister.
brand friends.
Oh my
because
God.
We are both these
I wouldn't
married
be here.
women. It's
No, it's not that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sane had I not had her in my life.
Damn.
Because I think for the biggest part, I was covering up a lot of the things that were happening, and she was now getting a closer look into my life because she's now closer to me. And we would have this thing where like we'd spend like New Year's together as families, and I would always end up like crying on New Year. Like this guy would be like, he was very verbally abusive. So she would also just be like, yo, are you all right? Because how you're being treated right now doesn't, I watch you and how much you give to your family, but what I'm seeing you get back is like very minimal and abusive, really, So she shared her concerns, and she was just like, I'm not saying do anything, but I'm just saying this is not normal.
Yeah, this ain't it.
Yeah, especially because I was young, I felt like maybe this is a part of marriage that I don't.
Yeah.
It's stage 5.
Yes. And it will get better as
Yeah.
we go, as we grow.
When we get to stage 7.
Yes. But you don't know that this is it.
No,
girl,
it's
you
like
are
for
in this thing, and
yeah.
and it's going to be like this forever.
100%.
For until you're in this thing, it's going to be like
100%.
this.
And I think you need that exposure. You need to see what other people and how other relationships look like for you to be able to know that it's like kids who are growing up.
Yeah.
It's like kids who are growing up in a toxic family. I don't think it's easy for them to know that things are toxic. It can be normal to them unless they go and see somewhere else that, okay, this is actually how other people grow up or whatever it is. I think the same was for me.
Yeah, because Nikki, also you come from a loving family. So
Babe,
it just,
I don't know. I think he just, the emotional part just got to me. Like the fact that I loved him and now we had this baby. It's just really like he hooked me and was able to do anything. Like to a point where I remember even some of my friends that I saw like later on in life, they'd be like, babe, you're so different. Like even the way you look at yourself, like people would be like, oh, you're so pretty, whatever. And I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, meh. Like, I don't see it like that because the person who's living with you is like, you're not all that. Like, you're so vain. The moment I go to the gym twice, you're so vain. Do you have to like care so much about how you look? Like, do you think this is a real job? I keep saying this because this was the headline of my marriage. Do you think this is a real job? I remember I took him, guys, I'm just venting a little bit.
no, you are. Go off. Let her cook.
I once took him to a brand event just to show, like, I would feel like there's some things that are normal. As a man, if you have a wife and like she really does like being outside, she's always out, you can't really keep her in the house, you can think, okay, maybe what is she really doing out there, but I'm always home. And then I have my first event, I think it was Johnny Walker, they were having an activation here. My first paid gig from this not real job.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like a lot of money at the time, and I was so excited, like, oh, babe, I got this email, whatever. And they said I must bring friends. But since I don't have friends, you can come with me.
Yeah, let's
bring
go
your
together.
friends. Yeah. And we're at the event. And you won't believe, like, towards midnight, this guy walks up to me and he was like, he wanted to talk to me about something, but I was like, I have to do live streaming right now, so can we talk at home, right? And I like walk away to go like interact with people because now you're there, you're social, people are expecting to see the one young mama that
The one
they
young
see.
mama that they follow, that they love,
My
because
babe.
they love you.
My babe.
Hey.
I remember I was talking to somebody and I just feel him like pull me by my
Your elbow.
yeah, and he was like, "Why are you walking away from me?" I was like, "Wait, hold up, we're gonna talk at home."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, do you think I'm embarrassing you?" I was like, "Kinda." I mean, read the room, and that's
Also, I'm at a work gig,
and
buddy.
he was like, "You are nothing." He was like, "Do you think you're somebody?" He's like, "I'm the one with the reputation. You are nothing." And this is now like Mobatung, like the people are there, the brand managers are there, the people who are invited, and he's not like saying this at the top of his voice, like,
What?
This is not a real job."
This real job thing is...
Babe, I swear that was the theme of my life. This is not a real job.
We're gonna have that on the trailer.
No,
This is not a real job.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And I remember standing there.
Oh my girl.
I remember standing there and thinking like, how could this guy come go off at me like this in front of people? He'd be like, please, we'll talk about it at home.
Yeah.
But no, you don't have time. You have to let me know right now. This is not a real job. Pack your stuff up. Let's go home. And even his friends, I could see his friends because I told him to invite, I had a 5 people invite. So it was him and his friends.
Yeah.
And I could see his friends were just like
They're
a bit embarrassed.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, like what's going on?
Like, do we have to do this here
Yeah, we
now?
haven't seen her do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But you just need to humble her.
Yeah.
Kore ha o bona hela, kore le hang ka kgaba hela ke tswa mo ntweng ke tswela kwa ntle, motho ha go tantshitse morago. For what? I don't know.
Like, wa kai wa apere yalo. Like, how? Fam, I'm going to the mall and I want to look good.
I just want to
wanna
look
go take
good.
pictures from there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just a girl.
And be a girl.
Yeah, and you know I like content because that's exactly what you're doing.
But it's not a real job.
Yeah. So now I want us to fast forward to dating after.
After. Oh my God.
How is dating after? And you dated the hot guy, because we saw him on your
he is
socials.
hot. He
Yeah,
is.
you
Yes,
dated that
period.
hot guy,
I mean,
and he seemed younger.
yeah. I think, you know what? Dating has been a bit weird for me, if I'm being honest, because there is a lot of healing that I've had to go through and understanding like what it is that I wanted. So you can imagine like I'm coming back into the market and I'm not even feeling like I'm that girl because of like my previous experiences.
What you've been
and
going
everything.
through, yeah.
And I feel like that relationship also was one of the things where I feel bad that I was not ready to be in a relationship then. Because I think he didn't even get to receive like the full confident me. There were like parts of me that were still like, oh, do you really like me?
Yeah.
You know? Because I feel like I'm not likable.
Yes.
I've been trained to feel like I'm not likable. Like, and I'm not, you know.
I'm not her.
Yeah.
But everybody sees you as her except
It's crazy
you.
business.
That's
the mental is
so
crazy.
wild. Yeah, that's so wild.
And there's so much shame. I feel like people don't talk about the shame that comes after divorce, especially as a woman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like there's so much shame attached to you because naturally, and I don't know what it is about society, but naturally people blame you for the downfall of your family.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, people would be like, I would go on a date. Even now, if I go on a date with somebody and I'm like, oh, I'm divorced, whatever. Men will most naturally ask like, what did you do? Like, did you feel like you were too pretty to be married?
Excuse me?
And I'm just like, whoa.
That's how I don't know the hell that you were in. And you had to choose yourself and choose your sanity because you were gonna lose your mind.
I think there's just a twisted perception about women that I had to learn about. Obviously, being very young, I think I was protected from a lot of how people think and how things were going on. So I had to learn that being out that naturally people are going to blame me or try to find a way to blame me.
Yeah.
for my family not being together.
Did you feel like you were a failure?
Yes. I think there's so much grief that comes with a divorce because you plan your whole life around this person and what you want things to look like. I remember I would literally cry at the thought that we're not going to be old together anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Because you
it
had
was-
the fairy tale.
Yeah, it was already done. Like the story was done in my head. I was just living it out, you know.
Yes.
And now it was like, oh my God, what is 40 years from now gonna look like? Because I'd already pictured it a certain way.
Yeah.
You know. And now I'm looking at my kid and I'm like, now you're like part of all these divorce custody wars, you know. And my son is so loving, like he's so
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
like, and it pains me so much to watch him have to go through that transition. Yeah. And just trying to like protect his environment. I think mothers are more, I don't know, maybe some dads are like this. Guys, I think parents are different. There's really loving dads and there's really loving moms and stuff. But I think in my situation, I was more worried about him and maintaining his environment and not making him feel like things have changed too much.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, my ex is too emotionally sporadic. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, whether my son feels like his mom is still in his life or not, doesn't really matter to him.
Yeah. Very hardcore-ish. Raising the child hardcore-y.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just thinking about, like, himself, like, whether... Guys, I don't know. After this, you guys are not going to be... You're not going to feel like getting married.
Hey, sis. No, but it's
After
real.
this, yeah.
It's
Like,
not about marriage. It's the person.
It's the person.
Yeah.
100%.
It's
Thank
choosing
you.
the wrong
It's the
person.
person.
It's not marriage. Marriage is beautiful
100%
if you choose the right person.
And choosing the wrong person, you'll still feel that this is the wrong person even after you've left them. It doesn't stop. Like you saying, I'm going to divorce this person doesn't mean they're going to stop, like, irritating you.
Yeah.
They're going to carry on. They're going to even get worse, maybe. Because I still go through times, like, I feel like it's been 3 years now since we've separated. But I can tell you, like, my son stays with his dad for now because I didn't win the custody stuff.
Yeah.
I had to still start my life from scratch.
You didn't have
know?
a real job. Like, you could have won the kid if you had a real job.
Had a real job, babe. But I didn't have a real job. But yeah, so and up until now, it's been 3 years, but still, I'll get blocked from my kid's phone and I can't talk to him for like a month, you know. And I'm just like, but why?
Yeah, and you're not living here, by the way. You're
I
living
live in
SA.
SA, yeah.
So
it's
obviously
not
you
even
wanna
like
keep
I
in
see him
touch.
all the
Yeah,
time,
you want to keep
know.
in touch.
But I do try to call. I want to help out with homeworks. I want to do stuff, you know. And this person doesn't want, like, live for the child. Aren't you thinking about the child
Yeah.
to say for their emotional well-being and upbringing? Don't they need to have their mom?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he loves you, this boy.
my
Hard.
babe. We have this thing where we're just like, he knows, and I think as my son is growing, he can see for himself, which is one thing I appreciate about life, that children are not stupid. They get their own minds and they start to see, like, okay, I don't think what mom is doing is right, or I don't think what dad is doing is right. So my son will literally, like, funny enough, guys, and I don't like it. Like, it's just a blessing that I think God cares for him so much and
Yeah.
he protects him.
Yeah.
But my son will counsel me and he'll tell me, Mom, don't be sad. I'm going to grow up and things are going to be okay. You know? And I hate it. I hate it so much because there's so many other kids who are just thinking about lollipops and
Yeah.
stuff. But my son is telling me that, you know what, things are not okay, but things are going to be okay. You don't have to grow up that fast.
Yeah.
You know, and it wouldn't have to happen if I had a co-parent who was thinking more about the child.
Yes.
Yeah.
More than
I'm
anything
heavily
else.
disappointed when it comes to that. And I think those are the things that have made me come to that place where I'm like, I don't need to protect you anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to speak and be like, oh, we're co-parenting and we're trying our best. No.
No, you're not.
You're messing things up.
Yeah.
Heavily.
We have a plan. Please let's stick to the plan. Please allow me. Please.
Heavily so.
Yeah. Please just
You know?
don't inconvenience me.
Yes.
And my plans with my child.
And let's just try and make this thing good for the child. I'll give you an example and say, there was a school play last year for my son, which I was asking about, like, oh, what's going on for the school play? I'd love to come visit or whatever. And I got ignored, you know? I'm just like, okay, whatever. I come to find out when I thought I was going to arrive during the time of the play. When I arrived, I found out it was the day before.
Wow.
And then I asked my son, at least your dad was there for you and stuff. And he was like, no, nobody showed up.
What?
He was like, nobody showed up for me. And I think those are the
And
things
you
that
wanted to show up.
I wanted to show up. I have family that stays here that it's so easy for him to be like, oh, I can't make it. I have work. Can your dad go? Can your auntie go? Because there's so many people that also love him from my end who are also willing to be there for him.
Yes.
But because the parent themselves is narcissistic and only wants to focus on themselves, it becomes difficult, you know?
I'm sorry, dog.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I just don't want people to think that things are easy because they're not, you know. And every day I work so hard to try and meet up to that. You know, I'm now at a place where I can say I can comfortably afford my child. And it's because I took that first step to say, I'm going to leave this and create a life for myself.
Yeah.
And now you know, the past 3 years of my life have been about custody battles, and they're still going to be until I have my son back, you know, and that is what we're doing right now. Yes, I'm in that fight to get him back because I can't let this carry on further. Yeah. But had I not left, I would have not known how to make $1 out of 15 cents, how to do my own things. I mean, I came from a person who would tell me, oh, you never make more money than I give you as an allowance. Right now, my rent is way more than the allowance.
Like,
with my job, that's not real.
and you have AB Beauty and it's grown so much.
Yes.
And you're training people now.
I'm training people. Yeah,
You're doing celebrity, like, hairstyling. You are going off.
I think that's God. I asked God, what did you want me to do? And everything that I did, I prayed about it. Even moving to a new country, I prayed about that. And God has been providing. It wasn't easy the first 3 months, 4 months that I was there because I had no clientele. I actually only had the people that I would speak on Instagram with, like, oh, babe, I really like how you do your hair. Please, when you're in SA, do my hair. Those are the only people I had, you know. And when I got there, none of them responded.
What?
Babe, Gaborone.
Excuse me?
I got there, I was like, hey, I'm here now. Hit me up, let's do hair, you know. And people were just like sending crickets, babes. I think there was only one babe, and we still, even till today, haven't gotten a chance to work together.
Yeah.
That was like, no, let me know. I'm not comfortable with a house call, but when you have a studio, I'll come.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm trying to get to the studio. Yeah, and you can help me get to the studio.
Yes.
But hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
I learned also not to take that too personally, because one thing I have learned is that nobody wants to jump on a train that's not moving. Yeah, like it's hard to find that even anywhere, like anyone who's working, if you pitch an idea, there has to be something, at least proof of concept.
Yes.
This thing is going somewhere. But if you just come here a newbie, hey, I'm doing hair, let's go. Nobody's really gonna
also, you're going to a
wanna
place
be a
that
part of
has
that.
a lot of people that
who
do
are
that
already
same
doing
thing.
that,
Yeah.
100%. So I had to start with like the place where I stay, the complex where I stay. That's where I started. So I started advertising around there, and I just told people, hey, I do hair, and all of that. And I started doing house calls in the apartments there.
Yeah.
And that's how I started to like build up, you know. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this needs to happen, because the place where I actually stay, they have like other extensions, like other apartments. So I'd ask them like, oh, can I please do a discount for the people that stay here, and I'll do hair. Yeah, and I just started working my way from there until I met a lady who's also from Botswana, very hardworking lady, and I really owe a lot of my stability to her. There's two people in my story that I 100% feel like I would not be where I am without them. And I'm so happy that these two people are women, because I do believe that women supporting each other is a real thing, and it can yield real results. Yes, a lot of people like to feel like, oh, you can only get real help from a man. And honestly, no. When women help each other, you get so much more. There's a lady, her name is Mandisa. She's an influencer in South Africa. She does YouTube. So I met her randomly one day when I was out, And like our connection was really fast and real. And I was like, hey, you're so pretty. She's like, you too. I'm like, I do hair. She's like, oh, I really like your hair. I'm like, can I do your hair and like post? And she was like, cool, I'm up for it. And from there, like the market that I got, the people that I got, was enough for me to now start thinking about securing a rental space where I want to work. Yeah. Which was insane. Like, and also just how South Africans work when it comes to like the influencer market. Like people do respond to that kind of stuff versus how I feel works here in Botswana. I don't think we get the same results here.
No, I don't think we
I could
do.
be wrong. I could be wrong.
I don't
But
think
yeah.
we do, but we kind of do at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now Botswana, it's about TikTok. I've realized
TikTok is more
It's where it's at for real,
working.
and
Okay.
your post can go viral, and then you
Any
can
day.
get the numbers of followers within a day. 40,000, you know,
Gosh.
and then come so you're influencing, like you're getting a brand, you know. Yeah. So
Okay. I think I
it's-
haven't been too in touch with bots
Yeah.
for some time, and I
For sure.
I need to like refamiliarize myself.
Yeah. But we're trying. I mean, the space is growing and the
Yeah.
brands are appreciating. It's just, we just need more and we need to charge because these brands also want to negotiate us and
Down.
tell you,
To give you product.
yeah, I want to
for
give
posts,
you, yeah, I want to
but
give
you
you,
need
a,
to eat.
yeah. I want to give you a PR box. You have to post it. You're like, buddy, but you must pay me. 'cause
Pay me something.
Why am I posting
I think
you?
that's how the environment was when I was still living here, which is another reason why I felt like I needed to move because I was finding myself like even posting my family was really to attract working with brands and stuff like
Yes.
that. But you'd find there was not enough work, which is also why it gave somebody motivation to tell me it's not a real job.
Yes.
Because there was no real money coming
Yes.
from
that, which
yes.
Hanke Bolu in a different market probably would have been.
I think
bigger.
my thing when I was still in this space, what helped me was having a product to sell. Like when I did start doing hair,
Yes.
that's when I could use the numbers that I had to give me something back.
Yes.
But in terms of attracting brands and waiting for someone to be like, yo, I really like your work.
And then you started being a baddie. Like,
Wait, before we get there, I wanted to shout out the other babe that helped my business.
Thanks for taking us back.
Her name is Nono. She does makeup, Gorge Makeup.
Oh, girl.
I think you've seen Gorge Makeup.
Gorge Makeup
Yeah,
and
she's
beauty,
so
like,
talented.
that collabo
Yeah,
is
she's super
always
talented.
eating.
And when we met, she was like, homegirl, bona, re Batswana mmogo here in the diaspora. Ask me whatever it is that you need to know. I've been in the industry for some time. So I did come closer to her. We shared ideas. She helped me get up. Even her clientele, she exposed me to her clientele. And she was just like, dude, you're really good. And I feel like there's nothing stopping you from making it here. You just need the
clientele,
Yeah.
and
So-
the influential people too. Yeah.
So we collaborated for that time, and it was really, really good.
it
was
yielded
really,
some
really
good
good.
results. It gave you some good results.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like it put me at a position where now I'm attracting bigger people. I mean, I've worked with people I didn't even think I would ever work with. You know, I have celebrity clients who I'm very grateful. Like I'm so grateful because sometimes I even pinch myself and I'm like,
Dude.
what am I doing here? You
like,
know,
this is really your life, and this is
yeah.
really you.
Yeah.
And you're doing the thing that you love.
That I love.
Yeah, that's really
It doesn't feel like a job
No.
too much. It does a little bit.
Yeah.
But-
I can imagine the bleaching knots.
Yo,
thing.
my
Like, that thing
legs
is a
can
process.
swell.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. When I go to sleep, I'm like, I knew it was always in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew. And I think I needed to know that it's enough for me to know on my own. I don't have to have someone else know it with me. But yeah, it's happening. It's happening now.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you then became like a baddie. I remember there was that one picture. There was a picture that you took. You took that picture. Wow, Potsejinian.
Oh my God, I still remember that picture.
I know that picture. Like, I
my
remember
ass
the
was
picture.
fat.
It was fat, like fat. And you're just like, "Hey." And I think that day the internet might have been broken too, because and then there was another time with
Oh my God.
They were twerking in the pool. And
Oh
that
my
thing
God.
went on Twitter.
That video went on Twitter, and I'm not even on Twitter.
Yes, ma'am.
I remember people sending me screenshots like, "Babe, you've got Twitter in a frenzy." I'm like,
sis, because the internet and BW Twitter for that matter. I don't know, you know you from Botswana.
From Botswana, yes.
So it was like,
That's
yay,
crazy.
what's going on with this hand? Like, go iragala
"Did you
eng.
guys see the video?"
Hey. Yeah, it's probably the one that got that comment. Yamotare, hey, dude, I've been trying to holler at this hand for so long, and she's not like opening my DMs. Because a lot of people, I remember even like this guy on Twitter too was just like, yo, one young mama is doing too much
my
there
God,
on
I was doing too
Instagram, and we were running to the gram. What the guy is one young mama,
Yes,
yo.
I think that was a phase. It was really, you know what? I really appreciate my life because I feel like I'm not scared to try anything.
Yes.
I'm generally not a fearful person.
Yeah.
And I think coming out of my situation, I wanted to feel empowered. I felt like, okay, I'm coming from a place where I'm feeling like I'm not really worth much, whatever. So, you know what, the girlies, also you would go online and see how, you know what, the girlies are popping, you know, which I love. Like, yes, girl, do your thing, you know. But I quickly learned that wasn't for me. Yeah.
How were you able to learn that? I don't want to do
I think
this?
it was now like, even the conversation, like if I meet somebody, especially like dating wise, or even not even dating, just in general, like let's say I met you,
Yes,
and you don't know about my past,
Yeah.
right? And when you open my Instagram and you see, yeah,
you're seeing booty.
yeah, like you're not really gonna hear my message.
No, we're just
Because-
gonna think about the nyash.
Yeah, because like,
Because like your lips are moving, but I'm like, hey, that nyash though, no, because that's actually what people be doing.
like 100%. And it's like, I think people who know me and are like around me know that I'm actually far from that. Like, I think I'm more on a wholesome note. Like, genuinely, okay, I don't know if it's a wholesome, but I'm just a funny girl.
You are.
Yeah,
you
like,
are.
I'm goofy, I'm chill, like, so it makes it, I don't know, it also has a stigma to it. Yeah, I would meet people and they'd be like, oh, this girl probably she's probably like mean,
Yeah,
you know, stuck up.
standoffish,
Yeah, like, and already people would be approaching me with like a certain vibe where I'd be like, okay, now I don't know how to work with this because I'm genuinely not that person.
Yeah.
Like I'm not who that is. And yeah, and just I had to even ask myself, like, what is the purpose? You know, like I know I have a nice body, like I know. Right? It's just like with my skill, I know, you know.
And you've had a nice body forever.
Thank you.
Mind you, it's not like it's
Shout
a
out
new
to my
thing.
mama.
It's genes, bro.
Shout out, mom. Shout out.
So it's not like
Like, yeah.
it was always
It was
there.
always consistent.
Yeah.
So I just felt like maybe also it was just I was doing a little too much, you know. I maybe
Yeah.
felt like that's what I needed to do for my age, which really wasn't. I mean, I feel like stuff like that is better done by people who are like fitness models, you know.
Because they have something to show. Happy they're showing the results. Like it's more than just the sexualization
Yeah,
of it. It's more
like,
like pick
whether-
me to be your trainer because you can look like this.
Yes,
You know?
like, oh, I do lingerie modeling.
That's true also.
Here's what it looks like, you know.
Yes.
But just in general, to be like, hey, I'm gonna show you my butt.
Crazy.
If you go now, those pictures are gone. But at least I got to experience it.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed of anything that has happened. And that's another thing. Even that marriage shame, I've learned to not be ashamed anymore. Because I think now I'm at an age where I'm very much appreciative of all the lessons I've been through.
Yeah.
Like I'm way more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it gone?
Yeah. It's
Do I
gone.
look good?
You look good.
Okay.
Do I look good, Mr. Armstrong?
That's what was in my mind. Yeah. But yeah, that was just a stage, honestly. I don't think that's what I want my life to be about. I think even as I've grown, I've now gravitated to spending time with women who are very dedicated to building things, to projects, business, and stuff like that, because I feel like that's the kind of company I'd like to carry and the kind of conversations I want to have.
Yes.
I've tried to remove myself from groups where we're just talking about like this guy has this. Have you seen? Have you seen which car he bought? Like, he's gonna be at this club. Like, who cares? I want people to talk about me like that. Like, did you see the car she bought?
She bought.
Yeah.
And she bought with her own
With
money.
her own money. Because
like that money as a loony dog, it got her that car.
Babe.
And like you see it because you're literally
You're
just like, yeah, but she's
watching.
doing celebrities. She's doing
100%.
So of course, it's like,
100%,
yeah, it's
yes,
possible.
100%. So that's where my mind is at now. Like, and I realized that imagery also, it really, it doesn't go with where I'm trying to be. Yeah. Like, there's so much out there. Like, the more you live your life as a single woman, the more you realize how not far-fetched it is to attain certain things.
Yeah.
Like, things are so attainable. If you have the education, if you can put in the time and the work, everything is attainable.
I had this fairy tale where I had said to myself that I want to go see the beach, but I want to be proposed to on a beach.
Yeah.
And I would like to be taken by a man to the beach.
Yes.
And that thing didn't happen.
Yes, babe.
Last year, December,
You took yourself to the beach.
I took myself to the beach. Because I wanted to see the beach. I had always seen it in pictures. We live in a landlocked country. I don't travel much. You know, I'm
And you made it
afraid.
happen for yourself.
Yeah, I just called my friend up and she was down. She's like, yeah, how much do we need? Okay, let's get the flights. Okay, let's like,
Yeah, let's
because
go.
she's now the planner and I'm just the baby girl. And even when we got to the airport, she's doing everything and I'm just like, you know, chilling. And my girl's like, nah, I got you. And that's my girl that I met in July, mind you. And we're going on a trip
On
in
a trip
December.
already.
So it's like, I just met this girl 6 months ago.
And
but
everything
she's-
alignment.
Yeah, and she's so down for the cause. And she was really down for the cause. And I went to Cape Town.
And it felt good.
felt good. I was at the beach. And I was
And
like,
there's a certain glow about when you're doing it for yourself.
yes.
Like, even...
And I was like, I'm going to do this for myself. And it's now given me more empowerment to want to do more for myself and give myself those things and not wait for a man
To do it for
see
you.
me because I'm going to now
100%.
beg and I'm going to be, and he won't understand that, but it's what I want for me.
100%. I don't want to justify what I want to anyone.
No.
I should do what I want for myself. Yeah.
If I want to go see Europe tomorrow, I'm going to find out how much Europe costs to get there
And do it.
and put money aside,
100%.
get more gigs,
100%. And
advertise
just work
more
hard.
at work. Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially because I mean we're not working conventional jobs. We're not in the office.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're not doing
I don't want to say it's not a real job.
but it's a job because
But
it
it's
gives
a
you
job,
money and
yes.
I got paid, then I can go travel to Cape Town. Like you're just like, damn, God can allow me to do things that I want and with
100%.
the money that I make from a
100%.
real job that was not a real job.
That was
but
not
it's
a real job. We make it real. How you present yourself, how you do things, we make it real for ourselves. And there's really just there's so much grounding that happens when you start doing things for yourself. Like, I haven't had a moment where I feel like, oh, I'm struggling to pay my bills, you know, whatever. And honestly, when I walk out, it gives me a different attitude, like even to how I respond to men. Yeah, they get a different side of me now. I'm just like, nigga, you gotta coming to upgrade my life.
Yeah.
Because I've already like had to do so much work and had to pay a price for love before that right now I'm not in a space where I could be loving again. Well, I can love you, but
Yeah.
it's gotta...
Would you get married again now?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I know you guys were not expecting that.
Yeah. But you.
But yes, I would. I mean, I did say the same girl still exists in me. I believe in having a good family structure. I'd really love to have and fulfill that thing. I love cooking on Sundays. I love, you know, taking care of other people and,
Yeah.
you know.
And you said you wanted to have many kids.
I want to have so many children, Kedi.
So you want to have
I
like
want
that household
children.
that has like
And
10
noise.
kids and it's just
And
like, oh
someone's
my
like,
God.
Mama, help me with my hair. I'm like, sit here.
Yeah.
and he's like,
Like,
homework.
please don't do that in the house. I
Bruh.
said outside.
Yes.
Like,
And there's also dogs in there. Just put
yeah,
the dogs
just
in.
like running around.
Yes. Because I think, I don't know, I've always been I'm an empath and I really appreciate family over everything. I try
Yeah.
to think of myself when I'm like much older. Yes, there's things that I want to achieve right now in my life and travel and stuff like that. But I do know that there's going to come a time where I'm 80, I'm praying for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I want to be surrounded by love. I want to know that I sowed my time right now on earth into other people who are going to love me back.
Yep.
And, you know, I will still continue loving them and also pour onto like their children. You know, I'd like to think more about, yes, right now is nice, but also, I don't know. I look at even people who are already old, right? And alone. And these people used to have friends and have like all these things and a busy life and whatever. Most of the people they used to know are like dead. Others are like living far away with their own families there and whatever. And this person is now lonely, you know. And it's like I'd ask myself, where is best is my time? Where could I possibly put the best use of my time? And for me, it's always with my child. I feel the most satisfied or rewarded when I spend quality time with my child. And recently I've been bumping into new parents who will come and randomly, like, I have this thing where people just like to tell me stuff.
You that thing.
Yeah.
The impact thing.
Yeah.
It's the pure energy thing.
Yeah, and I get a lot of new parents who are just like, oh, I just had a baby and, you know, I'm so happy. You know, it's like I've never been this happy before in my life. Just yesterday, I met someone. He says I used to help him out on Messenger, and he would like tell me his problems, and I would respond, which is like, babe, where do you get the time? Like,
also, you never remember that you're doing good, by the way.
Yes.
Because you're just a good person.
Because I'm just doing
you
it.
Just,
you have to even remind me. I'm like, open that Facebook. What are you looking at?
Let me see. Yeah,
Yeah.
tapping. And he's like, no, but
He's like, yeah, and he's showing me like, oh, I'm going through this, you know, and I'm busy there like, no, keep your head up. Like, girl, your head was down.
Yeah,
And
but
busy
you were
telling
motivating
people.
everybody else to keep their head up.
But yet he's just like, he's been a dad for like 4 years now, because it was way back when we used to talk, and he's like, he's been a dad for 4 years now, and that's the one thing that keeps him happy right now. And I'm
being a
just,
dad.
yeah, and I'm
Present
just
dads,
like,
ish.
right?
Yeah, like the real compassionate ones, not
yes,
the
100%.
I'm just here physically and I'm paying the bills.
Paying
and I'm
bills,
out.
100%.
Like he's there watching you play football. He's there
100%.
helping you ride your bike. He's there like, yeah, you got hurt. What's up? Let me help you. Yeah.
But children, I think my child has been the most satisfying part of my journey so far.
I love it.
Like, even when I think about work and stuff like that, I know even the people that I work with in South Africa, they know if they're going to watch this and as I'm saying it, they already know. I'm
Yeah.
always talking about my kid.
Of course.
Like, all the time. There's literally been a customer of mine last holiday when my son visited. When he walked in, she's like, are you Aiden?
Yeah.
And he's like, I know so much about you.
Yeah.
How's grade 3? And I was like, you know, I talk about this kid all the time.
Yeah, that's your
because
baby.
yes, in my life, he makes my life make sense. Yeah, everything else can be confusing, but when it comes to him, I know that I have this person who I love and I want to pour into, and he knows that too. He's solid in that,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, he's very solid in that.
I think we're done.
Yeah, we're done.
I think when I'm saying that, I mean like I think I've all my curiosity that I've had about you, the misconceptions that maybe were there online.
Yeah.
You've pretty much
Cleared it
addressed it,
up.
and I know
so.
a lot of people were waiting to hear
some of
about
this.
that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we wanted to understand
What's
what
going on.
happened. You know, one young mama, Tlotlo now, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Where she's going, and
What's
you
the
know,
plan?
what's the plan?
Yeah.
And she's a big girl now.
A very big girl. It's not young mama, it's big mama now. Okay, it's big mama.
Oh, you're doing really amazing, sis. And
Thank you.
I appreciate you also just for coming and sharing
My
your
honor.
experience with life, because that's the whole point of this. It's just to be like, let's talk about life. Guys.
About life.
It's a roller coaster. We're just here and we're just vessels, and we're just trying to make the most out of it, doing the things that we
100%.
love with the people
And
that
do
we
better
love.
next time.
And
Even
do
when you
better
don't
next
get
time.
things right the first time.
Yeah, because you can always fix. You're not in a permanent
100%.
situation.
You can always start again.
Yeah, all the time.
I know. I met a lady. I'm so sorry. We were just done. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I just met a lady recently, and she stopped me. I was at a funeral, and she says to me, she's like, Anita, I've been following you for so long, and I just want to know how you did it. You know, I'm like, how I did what? She looks at her ring, and you know, I realized how much how many people might be in situations where they're not happy. And it's sad for me. It's like there's so little time. Yeah, people die every day. We were at a funeral. I even told her, like, look at where we are right now. And you're telling me that whatever it is that you're holding on to is going to be worth it till you get here. Like, it's really just a split second that we're here, and you have to make it count. You have to live it on your terms.
Yeah.
But responsibly so. Don't hurt people and be like, you're living life on your terms. Yeah. But you don't have much.
Yeah, and we don't even know if we're gonna see the tomorrow that we keep talking about, because we talk about tomorrow so
all
much
the
as if we're gonna
time.
be there.
True.
Like, you're not gonna be there tomorrow. So what are you doing now? Are you happy now? Do you like that course that you're studying? Are you in the job that you actually
wanna
love?
work?
Yeah. Like, would you do this for the next 20 years and be happy? If you're not, then what are you doing, bro? You're wasting your time.
Right?
You're being miserable.
So I just need people to know, like, if you're gonna be around me, we're all about just doing things intentionally from the heart.
Yeah.
Like, what matters to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
it can
my
take
vibe.
you places also.
It can.
You and Bufifi Matambwa, I'm seeing that and I'm like, look at these girls.
Right?
Like, just look at these
And planting that
girls.
seed. It's so important. Believe in yourself, man. You're the first person who has to believe in yourself. When you wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm that girl. I know I can do this. And do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Do you guys have any questions at the back? Because I always want to make sure I've covered all the bases.
Yeah.
Maybe they have questions. Maybe they have wonder.
Yeah.
X looks like he wants to say something. Are you good?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really venting. No, we're listening to a vent session. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. Not all men are bad, okay?
That's true. And these guys are not bad, by the way, which is why they were able to pour into this project and say, this young woman wants to do something. Let's help her. Let's
Thank
build
you,
it
guys.
together. So
Thank you
I
so
am so
much.
grateful so that I have these gentlemen.
What a
And
team.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, and this will go places as well. I'm happy to be on here.
Yeah.
Happy to be a part of this movement. So all the best to you guys as well.
Thank you, sis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're done. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your love. Thank you for growing with us as well.
Next episode is more celebratory.
Yes.
Yeah, this was like so
I want to
somber.
I want to do like a sip and something.
Yeah.
A sip and Q&A thing.
What are we sipping on?
But we talk about like whatever's there.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's current affairs, political.
I think that would be fun.
You know, the
Or
environment.
even a group of girlies.
Men.
Yes.
Oh, you want me to get a group of girlies?
Yeah, I think
to do
that would be fun. Like a girls' night in.
Oh my god.
We can make it a PJ party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
You guys are going to be really uncomfortable.
We're gonna be shaking yash. And we'll be getting lit. Like, that's the thing. Like, cause you're gonna be like, hey, this wine is.
Yeah, they're just going to be like, what's going on here? Should we be in this room?
Let's leave them alone. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
If anybody has questions, I'm pretty sure they can like holler at you.
Yeah,
right?
100%. I'll also just be in the comments as well. Like, just
Yeah.
with y'all.
But thank you, girl.
Yeah.
And you are amazing.
My pleasure to be on
Yeah.
here. Thank you for
you.
bringing me yet again. Love ya.
Love you too. And thank you for trusting me, because it's a level of trust
Yes.
that you can really open to somebody and just be like, yeah, this is what
Yeah,
it was.
this is what
and
it
this is how
was.
it is. And this is how I'm feeling.
100%. Since I met you, I was always just like, oh, Kedi has such a calm nature.
Yeah, I just
Like,
gotta
she's
be
so
calm.
dope and real.
Just as you are. That's why you clicked that time. I was like,
100%.
actually, this chick is such a cool girl.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Please keep your comments coming. Please subscribe. And, you know, if you have any questions, like I said, you'll holler at her. I've tried to get my questions out. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy that we're able to talk about this. And divorce is not a bad thing. If it's not working out for you,
Yeah,
if you're not
100%.
happy in that place, just let it go.
Get out.
See how you can do your exit strategy and exit. Or something only sane, because you can lose your mind.
100%.
I mean, I don't know that because I don't live that life.
No, you
but I
can lose
mean,
your mind.
Yeah, but you can
Yes.
just use your mind and see what
Yes.
people are not happy and people are posting, people are pretending.
100%.
What are people doing? Anyway. Okay, thank you. Thank you guys. Bye.